this is Rachel from Reimagined by the Chateau, and today I'm here to bring you the next edition of the Profit Edit. This is a show where I bring you my jewelry finds and I walk you through how to figure out if these are buys that are going to make your eyes sparkle or if they're going to make you feel like you're in the middle of a gloomy day. Now, the way that I do this is I have created something called the Reseller's Estimated Fee Calculator. And I know, Rachel, why do we have to bring math into something as sparkly as jewelry? Well, the truth is, all of us, including me, we get something and it's called sparkle eyes. And what's sparkle eyes? Well, sparkle eyes means that sometimes we see a pretty piece of jewelry and we don't necessarily stop and think about all of the different costs involved in buying it and selling it. And we think we might make a great profit, but we might actually lose money or make only $1. Well, is that really true? Yes, it is, and I am going to show you exactly how that can happen. I'm going to give you 3 different examples today, and I'm also going to show you where you can go and download the free version of my calculator so you can practice this for yourself. If you're ready, let's get started. First of all, let's take a look at my first example. So one of the designers that I really enjoy finding is Hattie Carnegie. I found this piece on the side that says auction and I loved it. I'm like, this is definitely a vintage Hattie Carnegie piece. The auction started at $25. That includes the shipping. And I jumped in and placed my bid. Only after, of course, I went to eBay and found a sold comp for a similar piece for $168. Now, we always go and check out the sold comp before we place our bid, and I'll show you why in just a moment. So, we've gathered our information. Now we're going to take a look at my ref calculator. We're going to call it that because we don't want to say every time the reseller's estimated fee calculator. That's quite a mouthful. But let's see what the ref is telling us. Now you can think of your ref as your friend who's going to stop you from making a bad play. They're going to blow the whistle on you when you give them the facts. And they're going to say, wait, this is a good buy, or no, this is not a good buy. So let's look and see what the ref said about this Hattie Carnegie necklace. So you can see with my original $25 bid, the ref said, ooh, this is great, Rachel. With all the facts included, I was set up for a nice profit of $84. Well, unfortunately, the bidding had just started. I thought, well, bidding is going up. What if I bid $50? Well, at $50, I was still in a pretty good place. $50, I was still in line to potentially make almost a $59 profit. But then what happened? Well, the necklace actually sold for $107. Boo. When I put those numbers into the ref blew the whistle really loud. The estimated net profit for whoever won it is around $1.50. And this is why we do comps. Now let's take a look at our next example. Our next example is a vintage Eisenberg Christmas tree brooch. With Christmas in July, I thought it'd be a great time to pick out an Eisenberg Christmas tree brooch and see what we can find. So I saw this one on Shop Goodwill. The combined auction starting price plus shipping was $28. Hopped over to eBay to find a comp, and I saw this sold comp for $32. Well, you can probably already tell that this would not be a good buy, with only $4 difference between the two and not even accounting for any fees. This is probably not going to be REF approved. Let's take a look and see what call the ref made on this one. So when you go in and take a look at this, you can see that with the potential bid of 13, the shipping of 15, the sold comp of 32, final value fee of 15%, promo fee of 10%, the net profit a negative $4. That's what the actual that's what the brooch actually sold at. So no, it's not something to bid for. Now, what do you do with something like this? I would just say, if you're on an online auction and you know that this brooch has a sold comp for 32, do not bid $28 for it. This is the kind of thing to know about ahead of time. So if you're out at a garage sale in your neighborhood and you see this Eisenberg brooch for $5, well, pick it up. Because if you buy it for $5 at your neighborhood garage sale and you can sell it for 32, then you can make an $18 or $20 profit. So that's when it's worth it, and that's when it's good to know what this comp could be. Now be careful. There are many different Eisenberg brooches out there, and some of them are worth a lot more than $32. So make sure you do your research and always start with that sold comp. My third example for the day is going to be this vintage Miriam Haskell gold link bracelet. Now this one is an opportunity for me to teach you a little bit more. I saw this bracelet in the auction and I saw that it was going at auction for $57. Now that includes the bid and the shipping. I went over to eBay to look for some sold comps. Unfortunately, I couldn't find anything that was exactly the same or even really that close. So what I do in that situation is I look for some things that could be similar. So what I saw that was similar is I saw a bracelet that was a charm bracelet that had sold for $199, and then I saw a other bracelet, more of a clamper style bracelet, that had sold for $85. So I went ahead and ran the numbers in both scenarios. So let's take a look and see what the ref said. So in this example, you can see what can happen depending on what you're actually buying and what you're actually comping for. So here you can see that the item sold for $53. Yes, it sold for $53. So it sold for $53. So if the comp was actually $199, then the person could profit $92. And that is excellent. That is that sweet spot. I mean, that's amazing. However, if the comp was closer to the $85, then the profit is that's closer to a $7 profit. That's not where we want to be. So one of the great things about the ref calculator is it allows you to really play around with the numbers. Let's take a look and see what I'm talking about. If you look at this last page, you can see the free version. Now the free version that you can download is a spreadsheet version but it works just the same as the app version that I'm finalizing. And what you can do is you can go through and you can take an item that you find, and then you can enter in your sold comp, the shipping cost. You can actually change the final value percentage fee, the promo fees, according to whatever platform you're using, and according to if you're paying a buyer's premium, if you want to play around with your promotion fee percentage, you can add those. And then you can play around. So for example, in my example, let's say that you're looking at this Alex Batar necklace and you want to see, okay, well, if I bid $34, what would my net profit be? If I bid $54, what would my net profit be? So you can actually make those comparisons right there, and you can see what the differences would be based on your bidding strategies. So I encourage you to download this free version, play around with it, see what you can learn, and come back and see me again next Thursday. Next Thursday, we'll be doing another version of the Profit Edit, and I will show you how I use my editor's eye to spot these items, to test these items with my calculator, and decide, are these items that are going to make me money? Are these items that are going to make me happy that I bought them? Are these items going to make me sad? Thanks for being here with me today, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.